Welcome to the Start Something Show. Join world-renowned experts, change agents, and everyday folks who have done the amazing. All here to help you start something incredible. Now it's time to step out, live your perfect day, and create a legacy with your host, Tina Dietz.
What do you really think about social media? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you view it as a necessary evil for your business, or do you ignore it? I'd love to hear from you if social media is really working for you to get you clients and customers, because many times that really doesn't happen. And to be honest, according to our guest today, and I think she's right, most of us are screwing up our social media by trying to use it for advertising rather than for engagement and relationship building. We're going to dig into a lot of details today because Elaine, Lindsay, who's joining me back here on the Backstage Pass today, is a freaking wealth of information about social media. She is a very early adopter of technology, which benefits all of us if you happen to know her, because she's the one going in and doing all the testing and finding all the bugs, which means she's always ahead of the curve. She's the owner of Truel Social Media, a social media consultant, and a Google Plus evangelist. Not too many of those out there, but she's going to explain why, and why you actually need to be on Google Plus at least a little bit. Ooh, one more platform to manage, right? Well, she's got some good advice on making it easy. Instead of telling you today about one of our wonderful sponsors, usually here on the show, I wanted to touch base with you personally and see how your year is going. Right now, as this show is being released and out into the universe, it is summer in 2017. The year is half gone. We've just moved. My family and I have just moved to a new city. My husband is starting school full time, going back to school in his 40s. Our gender roles are flipped on their head. Our age roles are flipped on their head. It's a lot of transition to manage, and yet it's also very exciting at the same time. It never ceases to be a freaking roller coaster. Really, that's the truth of it. So how is your year going? I'd really love to hear from you, because this is not just about social media and engaging with the audience on social media. It's about having a platform here with a show that has the ability to connect with you and to make a difference with you. So I would invite you to come on over. Go to Start Something Business Solutions on Facebook. Go to the Superstarter on Twitter. Connect with us there. Or go ahead and go over to the startsomethingshow.com and learn more about what we're all about, and then tell us what you're all about. You may not even know the depth to which we are able to help people connect with their audience that they want, the depth to which we're able to help you expand the reach so that you have the income, you have the audience, you have the lifestyle that you want, which is why you became a business owner in the first place. The definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who will work for themselves for 80 hours a week, but won't work for somebody else for 40. I'm definitely in that category. So are you the same? Are you an author? Are you a speaker? Are you a coach? Are you a service provider of some kind? Reach out. Let's see where we can connect and make a difference for each other. So come on over to the startsomethingshow.com and explore all there is there to offer you in terms of our shows, our services around audiobooks, podcasting, and thought leadership marketing. I'm going to put all of our social media links in the show notes today so that you can have easy access to connecting. And I look forward to hearing from you. Hello, Superstarters. This is Tina Dietz, and welcome to the Backstage Pass. We're back here with Elaine Lindsay, who is a kind of bionic Pollyanna and also a social media consultant and Google Plus evangelist. We are here to talk social media and Google Hangouts and all kinds of technology stuff for those of us who either are on the techie end of things or not, because she's awesome like that. Elaine, thanks for coming back and joining us.
Well, thanks very much.
Cool. We're going to dive right in here because I have about 18 million questions for you about all of this. And I'm going to just kick it off by asking, how are small business owners and entrepreneurs screwing up their social media today? And where do we need to check ourselves?
First thing you have to do, and this is so important and so many people seem to miss the boat, you need to be consistent across all the social platforms and your website and your blog. What do I mean by that? I mean, I don't want to see a picture of you from 15 years ago on your Facebook, and a different picture on LinkedIn, and a different picture on Twitter of your favorite tree or dog or cat. It needs to be a good headshot of you looking into the camera, because let's face it, folks, people do business with people, not business. And you cannot build that know, like, and trust factor unless people can actually see you.
So making sure that your photo is consistent across every single platform.
And more to the point, I say be consistent. I really mean that. We have different amounts of content that we can put on all of the social platforms. But it's really important when you do it that it is the same thread that's running through. More and more, LinkedIn, Google Plus are definitely indexed, and more we're seeing that across search. The reason I integrate search and social is because those are key things you need to think about. The keywords that you use on your website and blog, make sure in the first paragraph and perhaps the second when you have a larger area like LinkedIn where your summary is, 2,000 characters. Make sure those first two paragraphs are containing your name, your company, your keywords, what's most important, what do you give to the clients. That's really important, and that's all tied in there with that, headshot that goes on your profile.
Okay, that's the first time I've heard that in LinkedIn, the first paragraph or two of your description, you should kind of repeat, because some folks might think that's redundant because,
Oh, no, I didn't say repeat it. I said the first one or two paragraphs should contain your keywords.
You also said your name and your business name.
Yes. Yes. So, I guess you're right. That is a repetition, but the fact,
to get creative and work it in there.
Well, yeah, because the fact is sometimes when people are looking at things, and when you're looking at something that's 2,000 characters long, sometimes they lose sight of where they were, or they have 4 tabs open, and they're coming back to it. So it's always there uppermost in their minds.
Interesting. Okay, great. Now, one of the things I hear the most from small business owners in particular, and entrepreneurs kind of secondly, I do make a distinction between the two, is social media and time. Now, we can, of course, write a post and then, adjust it so that it fits with each different platform, because we know that we shouldn't be using exactly the same thing for Twitter as we do for Facebook, as we do for LinkedIn and all of that. But how do you recommend that folks manage their time effectively when they're dealing with social media?
Well, the first thing I suggest for people is an editorial calendar. Okay, you all have a niche, and whatever that niche is, whether you're a plumber or you're a videographer, you still have a niche, and there's still information that can be useful to your clients and prospects that you can put out, and you can know that ahead of time. I often suggest to clients, okay, if you're going to post something, say, once a day on each of the platforms, yes, Tina's absolutely right, it has to be different. For Twitter, you get 140 characters, so you're not going to get a lot there. You want to craft the posts for wherever you're going to have the most content. And then you whittle it down with a few key points for the others that tie that together. But what's best to do is set that out on your editorial calendar. And I often say to people, pick, either Tuesday or, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day suits you, and make that a day where you simply put out relevant information to your clientele. And then you pick another day of the week and you put out maybe tips and new information that's related to your industry. The bulk of your time on social should be spent engaging. You shouldn't be spending too much time on what you're putting out. You should be spending the bulk of the time on what other people are putting out and how you respond and reshare what they're putting out.
And how does that benefit a small business owner or an entrepreneur to do that?
What that does for you is build relationships, and the relationships that you build with clients and prospects are how you build new prospects and new leads. It's really important for people, I say know, like, and trust an awful lot and get to know you, but social media, first of all, it's not a sprint. This is a marathon. Okay? The best thing you can do in social media is, as my friends who wrote A World Gone Social, Mark Babbitt and Ted Coyne, they said, more social, less media. And I totally
That's
agree.
Great.
You have to be invested in what other people are saying and doing. When you put something out, okay, you want people to respond to you. How do you feel when you put out a great post that you worked hard on and it gets no engagement? Doesn't that just like rot your socks? So when you think of that, put that hat on other people and think they've put just as much time into what they put out there. So how do you help particularly your clients and your prospects? Make sure you've got alerts set or you've got an eye on their profiles so you know when they're posting new information. Only engage when it makes sense to you. Don't just engage for the sake of engaging. That doesn't build a relationship. That builds a sycophant. And
so it's something that, you know, we need to enjoy as well, not just do for the sake of doing. So this is really an opportunity, and this might be, again, one of those mindset kinds of things where we allow ourselves the time to enjoy the interaction with people we enjoy hearing from and interacting with, and that's okay.
Yeah, and you'll notice when I said the editorial calendar, I didn't say you had to have a post for every day. What you have to do is engage every day. And that can be, 10 or 20 of the people on one platform and maybe, 5 or 10 on another. But you'll come to find the people that you respond to are going to respond back to you. And as you build and deepen that relationship, they may not be the ones that require your services, but the people that are attached to them are the people that are going to find out who you are, what you do, and why. And you're going to get referred based on the relationship you've now built.
So the purpose of social media specifically for business is more about networking, more about relationship building end of things, more about word of mouth, and less about straight up advertising.
Absolutely. In my estimation, the advertising falls way, way at the back. Okay, none of us like to be broadcast to. Okay, that's not what social is about. It is that beautiful ebb and flow, the give and take. I think on my site I put up a picture that's, social media is a two-way road, two-way street, because it really is. Without the ebb and the flow, you're just broadcasting.
Very good. Do you think there's a distinction between the positioning and the type of post that, say, a bricks and mortar local business needs to be engaging to be effective in social media as opposed to a coach or a speaker or someone who works more globally and more of an expert platform? Yeah,
that's a really good point. And it's sort of two-edged. I want to say yes and I want to say no. The type of posts, yes, there will be different posts for bricks and mortar because a bricks and mortar establishment can offer coupons, discounts. They can do events within their shop. There's a lot of things that you can do with a physical location that you can't do as an online business. However, the engagement, the building of the relationships should be absolutely no different. You still want those relationships. And quite frankly, even a bricks and mortar business, you don't know when the people that you've made a relationship with online are going to visit your city. And you know what? If it's a good relationship, they're going to make a point of coming to you. They're going to make a point of sending people to you. Those referrals, that WOM, that word of mouth marketing is so valuable that I don't believe there's a big enough difference anymore in how we should be reaching out to others, no matter what we do. You know, whether you're an incredibly high-end corporate business that only deals with C-suite individuals, or you're the mom and pop down the street that sells handmade candles, you still need to build the relationship with the people within your niche. Having said that, you have to know who your target market is.
Very true. That's always fundamental any business setup, for sure. Now, let's go switch gears here and talk about video. I know you're a big evangelist for Google Hangouts, and I'm a big evangelist for, people getting their name and face and their expertise out there. Now, Google Hangouts has a very mixed reputation.
Yes, it does.
So how do we deal with Google Hangouts? What do we use it for? And if we're going to take this in pieces, and how do we actually make it great? Oh. How do we make it not suck, Elaine? So
I love that. How do we make it not suck? Okay. Yeah. Even on the worst days where they're doing background work and my Hangout keeps crashing, I always keep one thing in mind. This is free. They're not charging me for the ability to bring 9 other people into this online video and do whatever it is I need to do. And having said that, okay, you can have a membership. You can do a one-on-one coaching call where you charge your client and only give them the link, which, by the way, you can personalize and reuse, to your Hangout. You can, do your Hangout, have it broadcast to the entire world, and I'm going to say beyond, because we've actually done Hangouts with the space station. So we're no longer even, limited to the world. But the fact is, the uses of Hangouts, I think people are finding new uses every day. From a business perspective, okay, if you're a small business, sometimes it would be really nice if once a month you picked, 3 to 5 of your best customers and you invite them into a Hangout and let them talk to you for 10 minutes. Let them tell you what they love or don't love or what they'd like to see you do next with your business. People love to try and help the businesses that they love. So that's a really different perspective. We traditionally think of customer service being there for complaints. Well, why don't we, take the bull by the horns, make customer service be highlighting the best customers you have and start there. You can also use it for problems. You can use it for considerations. You can use it to help people utilize your products and services. Especially in the case of coaches, this is a really good way to set up a group coaching call. You can have a monthly group coaching that you do in a Hangout. And the difference from a Hangout and this type of a podcast where we're not being seen on video, the difference, you have to be in a Hangout, honest to God, to see this. And Hangouts is not the only video chat you can use. It's just the most self-contained, I think is what I want to say.
Okay.
When you're doing a broadcast and you click the broadcast button, when you tell it you're done, it's all ready for you within about 20 minutes on your YouTube channel. You can either edit it, you can add tags, your keywords, put a description, and YouTube, God bless them, will also help because they're the second largest search engine in the world. So all of those pieces, having the search engines basically at your beck and call with every Hangout you do, you can find Hangouts being indexed in search already. Having that put up on your YouTube channel for you, and another really wonderful bonus there is, say you wanted to do a bunch of informational videos, some maybe with PowerPoint presentations, and some where you're just a talking head. you could actually do that, say run 3 or 4 of them, broadcast it all at once. It goes to your YouTube channel. You change it to private, download the MP4, and have either your video person, or if you're good with Camtasia, you can take it apart and repurpose pieces of that video for use on your website, on your blog, in newsletters, and you can reuse it over and over and over again because it's yours.
Yeah, leveraging is one of my favorite words,
God.
and this is a wonderful way to do that. Now, I know that you are really good at breaking things down so that they're simple so people can step into it.
Yeah.
Let's say that you have someone who comes to you who wants to get started with this, but they're feeling kind of tenuous. How do they get started to get over that technology gap?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do. I have people that say, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't know if I'll get the background stuff right. So that's where our production comes in. We produce your Hangout for you, and as we're doing that, we train people on the pieces that are the working background parts in the Hangout, so people can, after 2 or 3, say, you know what, okay, I'm good to go.
This is what I love about you. So, yes, you're helping people get going. You're taking the fear away, but you're also training them at the same time.
Well, yeah, because
so then they can go and do it without you. They're not reliant upon you, necessarily,
exactly.
Unless they want to be, which is fine as well.
Well, absolutely, and there are groups. I do some chiropractors and health groups, and where I produce their summits, health summits, and I do one for mental health and addiction. That I will probably always do the production of these particular shows, because there's a group of chiropractors and there's a group of other people that they're very intent on what they're talking about. It's a very deep discussion. They don't want to have to deal with the back end. And let's talk about the back end for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I do the training, and I do the training from inside the Hangouts, is because you have all these apps inside the Hangouts that are useful for business. They're useful for your person. They're great for my glam kids, because I'm a glam ma. There's apps.
Glam ma?
Yeah, glam ma. Yes. That means I'm not going to go gently into the dark night. I'm not going to wear fuzzy bedroom slippers. I'm blinging it to infinity and beyond.
Nice.
Anyway, back to the Hangouts. There are a variety of apps. I had said earlier about you're broadcasting and you do part of it as a PowerPoint presentation. The PowerPoints can be brought in, you share your screen, and you show people what the PowerPoint presentation you've put together. There are also, Google Slides, which is in your Google Drive. You can do a presentation with those as well. And this all can be seen while you're working in the Hangout. There are a number of apps that seem kind of silly. One's called Google Effects, and it gives you hats, beard, mustaches.
Oh, that's my favorite one. That's fun.
Well, not only is it fun, but from a business perspective, it's really great for getting people to drop their guard. Now, back in 2012, after the Olympics, Cadbury UK did a couple of Hangouts with some of the Olympians in Britain. And it went really well for the first few minutes, but it was a little bit stiff. And then one of the athletes happened to click on Google Effects. And it was hilarious. And everybody relaxed and everybody talked, and it was such a good hangout. And so much came out, and people really saw the depths of the personalities of these athletes. And it was just amazing. Totally amazing.
Yeah, fun is the key to a lot of deep sharing and connection and a good time.
And I know there's a lot of people who won't agree with me, and that's fine. But even in business, you have to have fun. If there's no fun,
what's the point?
Well, yeah, you're not feeding your soul. You have to have fun.
Not at all. I have more than one occasion. I have coached my clients that their homework, as it were, for the week was to go out and have more fun.
Yeah.
And we actually set up action steps for more fun. Because if the energy is not there, your passion's not there. If your passion's not there, you're not as effective. If you're not as effective, you're not getting the results you want.
That's so true.
That's why we say it's fundamental.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina, that's amazing.
This is why we like each other.
I love that. Anyway, I know I just keep talking on and on, my God.
No, I actually have another question for you about new technology. So we're going to talk some more about this, as I'm not letting you go until I squeeze it. And then we're going to talk about what else folks can do here. You're an early adopter of new technology, and the social media landscape is ever changing. There's a lot of concerns from people about Facebook. Facebook has made what I consider a lot of dubious choices about how they've handled the business side of things and their interaction with small business owners. But that's neither here nor there. If we're going to stay ahead of the curve or even on the curve as small business owners, what trends and emerging technology do we need to be aware of?
Okay. The first thing I'm going to say to people, stop overthinking it. Don't get caught up in, this is coming new and that's coming new. And you know what? If you just develop your one strategy. That means build relationships. On most of the new platforms that come out, you're going to find yourself ahead of the curve because you're not jumping at the next new thing.
I also wanted to ask you said something earlier about setting alerts for when somebody you want to develop a relationship with online is posting.
Yeah.
How does one set up alerts?
I use Google Alerts. Google Alerts allows you to tick off either like a website, a name, a phrase, and it will send an alert to your email address. You can decide whether you want everything. You can decide you only want videos or you only want audio. However you set it up, and you can decide how often you want it to come to your email. When you're looking to build relationships with, say, influencers in your niche, this is a really good way to be assured that you're seeing what they're posting so that if there is something that relates to you that you think is viable, you can not only share it, but you can add your 2 cents too.
So this might, let's say, you and I both know Joel Comm.
Yeah.
The social media wrote Twitter Power. He just came out with a new book. If I set up a Google alert for Joel, then Google would send me an email every time he posts something on social media or a blog or anything?
Well, every time something new came out from him. So yeah, you would get all his blogs. You would, get highlighted, but only if you chose everything.
So you can make selections.
Okay, you can select how much or how little you want. One other thing that's not new technology, but is something that I don't think people other than Instagrammers are using often enough, and that's hashtags. Okay, people know that you can use hashtags on Twitter. Well, you can use hashtags everywhere. And Instagrammers are great for putting, 10,000 hashtags on everything. Hashtags are a really good way for small business to not just curate what's out there, but for you to build a following. Pick 1 or 2, I would say no more than 3 hashtags that you want to relate specifically to your business. And for example, I do a show every couple of weeks, and the show is BBP TV. So that's the hashtag, is BBP TV. When other people use it, I can go to hashtag.org, and I can see how often people have responded, used that hashtag. If anybody's, responded to something I put out with the hashtag that I maybe didn't catch on one of the social channels, you can actually find it on hashtag.org.
Okay, very cool. That's really interesting. I love all these little tips and tools. This is great. So for all our super starters out there who are looking at going and fulfill their goals and dreams, what are a couple of action steps that you'd recommend that they'd take in the next week to help them start something?
Okay. If, as I said, start with a business coach. Make sure you do your homework. And for me, this is key, okay? I'm not telling you you have to post there all the time. I'm not telling you it has to be your home on social, but I am telling every single person, get yourself a Google Plus account. It will benefit you in search. It will give you access to all of the other Google apps that are out there, like calendars and Gmail and Google Drive, which is a great storage platform. For a startup, there's enough extra cost you have to put out for. Take the free stuff you can get that's going to work well for you. Google has so many things that are well integrated, and when you have a Google Plus account, it goes with your YouTube account and vice versa. Those two work hand in hand. So for me, that's a really good place to start. It's a good place for you to deposit all of your information because you don't have limits when you put up your bio, your introduction, all of your information, your email, etc. If you put it on the About tab of Google Plus, then you have a place to feed every other social platform from. And since Google is the one that's going to index you in search, that's where you want the most complete information and make sure that it translates exactly the same as it is there, that consistency across all your platforms, including your website and blog.
Ooh, I think we're all going to be logging into Google Plus later today. See what's that, and
Yay.
make sure everything is up to date.
Yeah,
so
yes, please do.
Very cool.
And one quick thing, Tina, that I say to people, if you don't remember something I said, and especially Google Plus or LinkedIn, go look at my profile. If I've done it and filled it out, then you should too.
All right, let's go reverse engineer Elaine's profile.
Exactly.
Perfect. I love it. That's awesome. Elaine, what's the legacy you want to leave?
I would like to have inspired at least one person to keep going, to try again, to do something else. Don't let life pass you by. And I want people, I hope people see that I walk my walk. Or I limp my walk. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you for bringing so much humor and so much knowledge and wisdom to the table and sharing with us today on the Backstage Pass. Will you join us again sometime?
Oh, I would love to.
That would be fantastic. I'd love to have you back again. All right, Superstarters, you have your mission. You have your assignment. Go get over to Google Plus and reverse engineer Elaine's profile so that everything that she's got filled out, you've got filled out, and it will take a look at immediately jumping up that SEO for you. And then make sure you go back through and check all the links, everything she talked about today, and explore. Enjoy the journey, and we'll see you next time on the Backstage Pass of the Start Something Show.